Hi back. So as we are tracking one of the most versatile creational pattern, the factory design pattern. This pattern is your go-to tool for managing object creation dynamically and efficiently. Stick with me and let's start by defining the factory design pattern. As we mentioned before, factory design pattern is one of the creational design pattern. It's like a specialized workshop. Imagine you are assembling cars. Instead of building every car manually, you have a workshop where you specify the type of the car and the workshop handles the rest. Similarly, in programming, the factory design pattern provide a centralized place to create object without exposing the exact instantiation. So next, let's talk about why the factory pattern is so powerful. Here are the key benefit of its offers. First, centralized object creation. No need to scatter new operator across your code. Keep creation logic in one place. Second, flexible and scalability. Easily add new type of object without altering existing code. Third, improved maintainability. Because encapsulating object creation logic reduce duplication and make your code easier to maintain. And last, dynamic object creation. This pattern shine when the type of object to be created is determined at runtime. So let's switch to Visual Studio and dive into code. For our example, we will build a shape factory that create different type of shapes: circle, rectangle, and triangle. And we're gonna see together how to implement the factory pattern step by step. To start over, first we need a common interface that all shapes will implement. This is gonna ensure that all shapes follow the same contract. Here I would like to start using a public access modifier, then interface, and after that it will be iShape. Inside the iShape, we will have nothing, just one method. In our case, it will be just. Next, let's define three concrete classes like circle, rectangle, and triangle, that all of them gonna implement the iShape interface. I would like to start with the first one, public access modifier, class, circle, and that one gonna implement iShape. And here we would like to have the same for the others. To speed up, we will have rectangle and triangle. As you can see here, there is a small issue that your circle class doesn't implement the interface. Yes, so please go and implement it. Here you will go and implement this method draw. Okay, we're gonna remove that part and we will have nothing, just console.writeLine here, and we're gonna say draw a circle. And we're gonna do the same for the rectangle, but this time I will show you different syntax for implementing this one. And instead of the curly bracket, we can use here the same, but this time it will be an arrow, and this arrow gonna have here directly the console.writeLine draw a rectangle. This one is more readable. You can use it even with the triangle, but this time it's gonna be triangle. Now let's go and create the factory class. This class contains the logic to decide which shape to create based on the input. So we will have here more space for us, and we're gonna start public as an access modifier, then static class shape factory, and inside this body we will have a method. Let me say public static iShape, and that one, okay, let me remove this one like this and have here the curly bracket. So we're gonna say here get shape better than create, okay, and that one gonna accept a parameter. Here inside the parameter we're gonna say string to check the shape type. We have three types: circle, rectangle, and triangle. And inside that one, in case the shape type is basically circle, so I would go with the switch, with the new feature in C#8. So here we will have the arrow, okay, and here we're gonna say shape type switch, exactly. And even we can make this one to lowercase in case someone put a uppercase. Let's make sure that we are in the right way. So my case here, I would like to go and check about the circle. So if your shape type is circle, here is the trick. We will go and create for you an object from circle. I'm gonna repeat the same with the other one, rectangle. In that case, it will be new rectangle. And the next one, the last, it will be triangle. That one as well, it will be new. And the default case, in case the user input anyone other than this, we're gonna throw an exception. No need for console.writeLine. We can say through new argument exception, exactly. And here we're gonna say inside the parameter invalid shape, and there is no semicolon here. It will be by end of this one. Finally, let's test how it's gonna work throughout our new class. I'm gonna say class program, and inside this one we will have static void main, and inside that one we're gonna define a new object. So we're gonna say iShape as interface shape 1. That one is gonna be decide the object type depend on the shape factory. Let me take it as a copy and paste. This one, shape factory dot. Here we have get shape. So in case get shape is circle, I will make it right now static, not dynamic input. So here in case it's basically circle, so we're gonna be shape 1 dot draw, and like this. Here before run, I think we forgot one closing curly bracket. Here inside the iShape is okay, as iShape is okay. So in rectangle we forgot to put one curly bracket. I think right now is working fine. Let me test out this one. It should draw right now a circle. We have here an issue. Let me check what was it. Maybe the circle is written wrong. Let me take it, or misspelling. I'll take it like that. And again, it's again one issue. He asks you to invalid shape. Let me stop this one and check one more. Let me go again and check. Because circle should be all of it small. I think this time it's gonna work. Let me come again here, and this one should be small. And let's try one more time, and here is it. It worked, drew a circle. We're gonna repeat the same from the other one iShape, but this time gonna be shape 2, and instead of circle it will be rectangle. Let me check one more time, and here is it. Draw a circle, drew a circle. Why? Let me check here. Get shape, because here we are calling shape 1. We should call here shape 2. And one more time, make sure that you are changing the object from shape 2 to shape 3, and that one from rectangle. See, even here we have misspelling for triangle. So we're gonna make it here instead of M, triangle, like that. make sure about misspelling. And here our code, I think it's much ready. Let's hit, and here is a draw a circle, rectangle, and triangle. Next question, where to use the factory pattern? Here are some real-world use cases where the factory pattern is incredibly useful. Let's start with UI framework, creating a different widget like button, text field, and slider, all of them dynamically. Database connectivity, once you wanted to manage connection to a different database sources like SQL, Oracle, MySQL, Postgres, dynamically even. In game development to generate game objects like weapon, enemy, whatever in the games. And payment processing system, switching between payment gateway like PayPal, Stripe, all of them, it's a very useful place to use factory design pattern.